Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be my monthly installment of Shop My Stash. So that is a series I do here on my channel where I go through my makeup collection, pick some products to focus in on the month, see if I still like them, if they still deserve a place in my collection, report back to you, and then we pick out new products for the next month together. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around, but with all that, let's just get started. All right. I had a fairly decent month, I would say, with these products. Some things I really loved, some things I will be getting rid of today, but let's just start. And the first thing I want to start with is my primer, which I do really love. This is the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas Primer. I made a really good dent in this primer. I had already had pan on this, but I expanded it even more. I used it pretty much every single time I did my makeup, and this is something I would really like to get out of my collection. I do like it, but I don't think I would repurchase it. It's like a $50 primer, and there's just better now at the drugstore, so it's not something I feel like I need in my collection, but I do actually really enjoy using it while I have it, and hopefully this is out in not too long. Then we're going to move on to powder. I had a casualty with my powder. I don't drop products very often. I'm pretty clumsy, but with my makeup, I'm very careful and very particular on how I take care of my makeup. But for my powder, I had the McGrath Labs. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Blurring Under Eye Powder. I do have the shade medium, but like the first day that I went to use it, I dropped it and it shattered. It went everywhere. I was able to salvage most of it, like the really big pieces, and I ended up crushing it and putting it in kind of like this little jar here. I haven't used any of this powder, but I was able to kind of almost use pretty much what was left on the pan, and it's almost completely gone. I do really like this powder. I said when I pulled it in, I wish I got the shade light, not the shade medium. So I think, you know, the gods above were just like, well, here's your answer to this. We'll just break it for you and you'll have to replace it with the light version. I refuse to do that though. I need to still get my money out of this powder. So I'm going to continue using it. I think now that I have most of the pan here, I'm going to scrape around, get whatever powder I can, add it to this little jar, and it might just stay in my little on my desk acrylic makeup stand that I use for every day, and hopefully like finish this up, and then I will repurchase the light version because I do really enjoy this powder. I find it ultra blurring, and it's something that I would want to like permanently have in my collection as an under eye setting powder. So that's the powder. The clasp even kind of broke, which kind of is unfortunate, but that's the situation on the powder. Still really happy with it. Moving on to foundation, I have two here, both from Nabla. I wanted to pull the Skin Realist because recently they expanded the shade range on this. I think that was a really smart move on them. I have the shade Too Light. I am wearing this foundation today. Everything that I'm wearing is listed down in the description box below, but spoiler, it's mostly these products. I love this foundation. You know, it is an airless pump, so you can kind of see how far I've gotten. But this is decent use for me considering my foundation collection. And this is more than 1 fluid ounce. It's almost, well, it's 1.6 fluid ounces. So it's like 1.5 standard foundations. There's a lot of product in this. I think you can really get your money's worth for this. I want to say it's like $30-ish off the top of my head. But this is a really great purchase. I notoriously am always hammering how I don't love a really ultra glowy foundation. And for me, this is the perfect kind of glowy, dewy foundation that I like. It makes your skin look really healthy without just like looking like I just applied a bunch of skincare and it's sticky and wet and tacky. I just don't like that. I don't understand how other people like that, but that's on them. They can put on their face whatever they want. For me, I don't like it. And this is the best answer, like the furthest I'm willing to go, where my skin just looks really lovely with this. I like it a lot. The other Nabla foundation is the Close Up Futuristic Foundation. This is the Weightless Soft Focus Perfect Complexion, and this is more of their matte foundation. I think they're actually discontinuing this, and I think they've been discontinuing it for a while because when I looked on Beauty Bay, they don't have a lot of shades of this. I have the shade M10 Medium, and I think when I went to purchase this to do a foundation review on it, I did a dedicated video on this as well as the other Nabla, which I'll link above if you want to check out those videos. But this is just too dark for me, and it's going to be my first declutter. I just don't really feel like putting in the work to make this foundation work for me. Even in the summer, it's going to be too orange, just not my shade, and I just don't really want to use it. So I'm going to declutter it, get it out of here. There's so many foundations, like I said, in my collection that I can be giving love to, that I want to reach for and use. So I'm going to find a better home for this one. It is a little bit more matte, like you kind of have the matte version and then more of like their glowy foundation. So if you want something that's matte, this would be your pick. It's not a bad foundation, just base off the shade. I just don't want to be mixing it. That's what this comes down to. Now we have concealer. This concealer, I just wanted to get some use on. I knew that I already liked it. It's the Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Concealer. I have the shade Silk 1C0. This is a really nice concealer. I use this a lot, actually. It didn't have too much wear and use on this when I pulled it in, but now, like you can see, I've made a pretty decent dent in this. Still have a lot of product. Like when I roll it all the way up, there's still quite a bit of product in here, but I used this often. I think it's just really simple to use. Would I repurchase this for the price? Absolutely not. There's other concealers that I could have in my collection and be just as happy than spending $70 or whatever obscure price I spent on this concealer. Again, similar to the primer, I like having it in my collection. I'll use it up, but it's just not something I need anymore at this journey in my life. So that's where we're at with this Tom Ford. I want to finish it up. I want to use it. The way that I used it recently in the past month is actually when I was doing all my reels. When I film my reels, I tend to film more than one at a time. So I will do my eye makeup, take it off, then kind of fix up and reconceal with this, and then do another reel, another eye look, rinse and repeat. So that's how this got so much use, honestly, but it's really nice and it worked really well for that. I have no complaints. It is definitely more of a matte concealer. Like it says, it's a soft matte. So you do need to be careful if you have a lot of under eye wrinkles. I would say this is probably not the concealer for you, but if you want just like an average, normal, decent concealer that doesn't do a lot and you want to spend a lot of money on it, this is your concealer. Let's now go into the base products, bronzer, blush, and highlight. For my blush and my highlight, I actually picked this palette out. This was unused in my collection, and now that Laura Lee Los Angeles is no longer a brand, I figured I should probably pull this out and use it. And quite surprisingly, I liked it much, much more than I anticipated. It's a really nice blush formula, and then this is the highlight here in Golden Haze. So I had a lot of different blush options. I don't normally pick this many, but I wanted to pull in a face palette. I used every single one of these blushes. Most of the time I'd mix them. Like if I use this bright strawberry ice cream, this bright orange, I'd kind of tone it down with the peach fuzz. And I liked that I could mix and match. This is a really nice face palette, actually. I like it a lot for what it is. Normally with face palettes, my preference is that it has all three, bronzer, blush, and highlight. But this was a close second. I wish there was maybe one more highlight. Like they have warm tone and cool tone blushes in here, and then you have a warm tone highlight. So I wish there was more of a cool tone highlight to just have a little bit more versatility. But honestly, I'd reach for this again on my own, not for a video. So really like this, and I'm glad I finally opened it up and used it. Then for bronzer, I also had an untried. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Bronzing Powder in the shade 90. Made a pretty decent dent on this for it being brand new in my collection. Hopefully you can kind of see I've started to wear away the logo here. I have been trying to get through all of my luxury bronzers so I can kind of do a roundup video on the best luxury bronzers. This surprisingly was a win. And I say surprisingly because I think I gravitate more towards a matte bronzer, and this definitely has some glow, but this is really, really pretty, especially paired with these matte blushes. These are not glowy blushes. So I really liked the combo of having one that was kind of more glowy and then one that was a little bit more matte. Really, really like it. Like, I'm wearing it on my cheeks today. It's a nice color for me. I will say I noticed sometimes when I wore this, I could get maybe a little overzealous, and I could see it later that maybe I overapplied it a little bit. So I do need to be careful with this bronzer, but maybe in the summertime, I can be a little bit more carefree and really just go nuts with it. Other than that though, I'm really happy I tried this. I wish it was smaller. I wish it wasn't this giant pan. Some people may like that. It's 18 grams of product, but for me, no, I don't really appreciate having this big of a bronzer in my collection, but I'm glad that I finally tried it and finally used it. Now we move on to creams. I try to pull in a cream and a powder. So I pulled in all of my Charlotte Tilbury wands. I have the contour, 2 of the matte blush wands, and then the highlight in Spotlight. So let's go backwards. The Spotlight highlight, I probably used the least. I'm not a cream highlight fan. I don't always pull one in to shop my stash, but this is something I would like to get out of my collection and then not repurchase. Probably my least favorite also from the Charlotte Tilbury line. It is very, very blinding. It's a nice highlight, but it's just not my style. The blushes are really nice. I have the shades Pink Pop and Pillowtalk. I like that these are matte, that they're not glowy. I never purchased Pink Gasm or whatever those really glowy blush topper wands were that she came out before these. When she launched these, I remember I picked them up right away because I was really excited. And I think they're really pretty. So I'm happy to have these. But again, knowing myself now and not my fantasy self, this is not something that I would want to repurchase. It's something that I want to just chip away at slowly and get out of my collection. And for whatever reason, while I may not like a liquid highlight or blush, I don't mind a liquid or cream bronzer. So the contour wand is my favorite. It was also my first one that I purchased. I have the shade Fair Medium. I believe that Charlotte Tilbury extended this shade range again, but I have like one of the original ones. So part of the reason why I ended up buying more of these is because I like this so much. And this is really almost gone. Like, I've used this naturally while it has 12 milliliters of product. Like, I feel like I've made a good dent in this product. I used to use this a lot. I do really like it. I especially like it for underpainting. This is something I could see myself finishing up, but not finishing up just to finish up, like finish up because I actually enjoy using it. And I don't know if I would repurchase it now because my mindset's changed a little bit and I do want to kind of get my collection under control a little bit more, but it is something that I enjoy having in my collection. I don't mind the little poofy sponge tip thing. Like, I know it kind of gets gross, but I'm pretty good at, like, I'll open it, squeeze out some product, close it, and then I'll work off the little sponge tip until there's no more product on it, rinse and repeat. That's how I do it to keep it a little bit less messy, but I know not everyone loves that. So those were my liquids. Now I just have lipsticks, and then we can pick out new products. For lipsticks, I usually pull about 4. Let's talk about the one that I'm wearing today, the one that I've been rolling over for 3 months because I haven't been using it. It is the Lunar Beauty Liquid Lipstick in Daydream. I didn't use this for 2 months, like I said. I told myself if I didn't use it this month, it was getting decluttered. So I did use it, and I surprisingly really like it. Like, I'm wearing it today. It's more of a warm tone nude. So I think maybe that's why I wasn't gravitating towards it in the winter time. It wouldn't have gone with looks as much. It's a really nice one. It doesn't dry down all the way. It doesn't feel like my lips are getting the life sucked out of them. It's more of a liquid lipstick versus a matte lipstick, actually. And I think I just was so concerned that this was going to be too matte that I shied away from it, but really happy I forced myself to get out of my comfort zone to finally use it. And it's one that can stay, so I'm happy about that. One that can go is this Becca. So this is the Becca lipstick in Petal. I didn't use this once, and just like the Nabla, I just really don't have the urge to. Becca's no longer a brand, and I really just need to get my lipstick collection under control. This is not one I can see myself wanting to finish, so in that case, it should just go. Here's Petal here. It's a little bit more of like a cool tone pink. Nothing wrong with it. Like, it still smells fine despite Becca no longer being a brand for a while now. I'm pretty sure I bought like a little mini set when they were going out of business. I don't remember the other shade that I have, but pretty sure that's when I purchased this. And yeah, it's okay. It's nice, but I just don't want to use it. This YSL lipstick though, I do want to use, I do want to finish. I already have a ton of progress before even pulling these into projects. So this is the, what do they call this? The Rouge Volupte Shine, and I have the shade 9. I really want to get one of their newer formulas, but it's the exact same thing, just a little bit different. Here's how much I have left of this one. And then when I roll it down all the way, you can see how much progress I've made. And that's natural use. That was me, again, using it before really kind of pulling it into any type of project. This is my ultimate favorite type of lipstick formula, where it gives a little bit of color, but it's sheer, it's shiny, it feels kind of like a thin lip balm. Really, really like this one, and I love the smell of YSL lipsticks. They're my favorite. It smells like watermelon candy. And then the last lipstick I have is from Adept Cosmetics. This is Lorsa. I got this like free gift with purchase for my Black Friday order. At least I'm assuming. They didn't really say anything about it. And it's like a full-on glitter-packed lip gloss. I only kept the one that I swatched, this one, and then I decluttered the other ones because it's just not something that I really love. I don't go for like metallic or glittery lips, but I did use this and I actually didn't hate it. I filmed it in a video though, and I didn't like how it looked on camera. I thought it looked weird and just off on camera, but in person, I actually didn't mind it that much. And so it can stick around. It can stick around for a while until it expires or I get my use out of it a little bit. I didn't hate it. It is a little bit gritty on the lips if you don't like gritty feeling lip glosses, but it was a cool effect. I don't have anything like this in my collection, so I'm going to let it stick around for a while. But those are all of my products that I've been using for the past month. I try to keep it small, condensed, and really focus on those products, not pull 10 things that I'm just not going to use. So now I'm going to turn you around and we're going to pick out new products together. First up, we have primers, and this is always the one I never know what I want because there's some I want to pull in and finish, but I also feel like then I'm not giving some love to some other primers. So which one has been in here kind of the longest that I want to finish? I do really want to finish this, but I don't think it's that close or as close as I want it to. This is the Wet n Wild Impossible Primer. Nice primer, but it kind of goes off quickly. The gripping primer. I don't think I'm close to that either. Maybe this Becca one. Who knows how old this is, and actually it feels pretty light. So this is the Becca Velvet Blurring Primer Perfecting Base. I do usually pick a more mattifying primer since I have my glowy primer in my project pan. So yeah, let's pull this one. I don't remember ever pulling it into a Shop My Stash actually. Now for concealer, I actually did have one in mind, and it's the, what is this? The First Aid Beauty Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer. I don't even know if this is still good. It's possible it could be expired. Let me just smell it real quick. No, it's fine. So this is a lighter concealer. It'll be better for winter time. I don't want to pull any of these that are too dark. So let's pull this one. Now, foundation, this is kind of what's left of the ones I haven't rotated through. We're making good progress, and then I'll finally like get back into this one. So I'm thinking this month, maybe focusing on these two Wet n Wilds, which actually reminds me that I have a Wet n Wild foundation in my drawer of shame. Let me grab that. So I also have this Wet n Wild Photo Focus stick foundation. I think I'm gonna pull all three of these. So I have the original Photo Focus foundation in soft beige. I have the dewy version in soft beige as well. And then I have the Photo Focus stick in light ivory, I think, which still might, it looks like it might work for me. This is, like I said, in my drawer of shame, so it's never been used and it's time that I use it. So let me see if out of like these three Wet n Wild ones, maybe I can figure out which one I like more and maybe declutter some of these other ones. That would be really nice. I would really like that. So that's what I'm gonna put my effort into this next month, is finding out which of these Wet n Wild foundations I like the most, because I'm sure this dewy one is just not my style. Like, why did I buy this? Now we have powder, and I just pulled this one in not that long ago. This is definitely an older one. Fenty Beauty. Jouer, I should probably just declutter. Dior, Makeup Forever. These are all unopened. Do I do it? Should I pull in my Natasha Denona? No, I'm gonna wait because I pulled in 3 foundations. Normally I only pull in 2, so I'm gonna wait on that one. You know which one I'm gonna pull? This girl on, because I didn't like it on first impression. This is the Terracotta Nude. I don't find it to be this, they call it the Nude Glow Powder. Bare skin effect, long lasting, and it's in the shade Universal. I don't find this to be universal. I didn't love it like the first couple times I tried it, so maybe this is something I could also declutter. So let's get my thoughts on this, because that would be nice to also just kind of minimize my powder collection a little bit. Now for the bronzer drawer. I do think for this one I'm going to continue pulling an unopened bronzer just until I kind of get through them, because I don't have that many left that are unopened. They're kind of hiding back here, but I'm just going to pull maybe the first one I see. Okay, so this is the Bare Minerals bronzer in Endless Summer Bronze, the faux tan shade. I remember I picked this up because of Kathleen Lights. She used to rave about this bronzer. So here is what it looks like. We'll see how it works. So I'm gonna pull this one in. I really want to stop having unopened things in my collection, because once I do that, then I can focus on just what are my favorites and minimizing my collection from there. So this is the one we're gonna pull in, at least for powder. I'm not gonna pull in a face palette today since I did that last month. We'll stick to individuals for bronzer, blush, and highlight. Let's move on to blush. For the blush drawer, what do I want to pull in? I've kind of been thinking about this one actually, because it came out a year ago in January. I remember I purchased and reviewed this in January, I think, of last year. I'm hoping not 2 years ago. That would make me sad. But this is a really pretty blush. I do mostly go for like the matte side, but I like that if I want to, I can kind of make it a little bit more glowy. So yeah, let's pull this one. I keep my cream, bronzer, and blush together. So let's pull that because the drawer underneath are my highlights. I don't have too many unopened in this category actually, which is nice. I have been thinking about this cream product actually. This is the M Cosmetics Pillow Plush Blush in Peanut. I really wanted this when it came out. I remember talking about it in a Will I Buy It, and then I picked it up, and here it is all this time later, unopened. So that changes today. I am going to pull this out. Let me open it so I can show you what this looks like. And I'll kind of think about bronzer here. Bronzer, I don't have any unopened, so that is nice. Here is what this M Cosmetics looks like. And it's supposed to, I think, kind of be like a cream to powder. We're gonna find out, it's unopened. So that'll be the blush. And then for bronzer, maybe it's time I pull in the ColourPop. I think it's been a while for ColourPop. I actually don't have that many cream bronzers. Like, I feel like this is the most manageable out of all of my categories maybe. I mean, I still have a lot more than I can get through, but it's a lot less than some other categories. I think it's been a minute though since I pulled in this ColourPop, or actually I told myself I was gonna pull in the Makeup by Mario, but where is that? Where is that bronzer? Is it in my bronzer drawer? That is why. That's why I forgot about it. I told myself I was gonna pull this in because it's very light. I have the shade Light. And I wanna pull this in only because I think further down the line, I won't be able to wear this. It'll just be too light for me. So we're gonna do Makeup by Mario first, and then ColourPop. Hopefully I'll remember to pull that in next month. So the highlight drawer is full, but there's actually no highlights that are unopened, which is nice. So which one do I want to use for the next month? Great question. I'd love to tell you. These are my Chanel ones. I kind of don't want like a big bulky one. Which one haven't I used in a while? Like, what's back here? Maybe that is hiding. Pat McGrath. This is the Ofra in the Samantha March highlight. This YSL one. I need a nude glow. That's a contender. Maybe since I pulled in that Natasha Denona blush. And then I have this one, the Stila, kind of like a cream to powder. I really like this highlight actually, but I think I'm gonna go with the Natasha Denona because I like to go with a theme sometimes, and I have the blush. This just makes the most amount of sense. It's a really pretty highlight. My only Natasha Denona highlight I'm pretty sure that I have. So let's go with this one. And I'm gonna try to carefully stick these all back. We're gonna do that later. And then last up is lipstick. I actually keep now the lipsticks that I used up above so I can make sure that I'm rotating them. So I can use any of this drawer here, whatever's in here. And I do like to try to switch up finishes. So let's see, I'm gonna pull in this Milani gloss. This is in Luminoso. So we have a gloss. Maybe this, what is this? Givenchy lipstick. When did I feel like I didn't, is this in red? Oh, great. A red lipstick. Let's roll with it. So I have a red. Ooh. And I wanted this Giorgio Armani one because I think this is like a nude. Yeah, this is a nude, and I actually quite like this little mini lipstick here. So I have two lipsticks, a gloss. Let's go with like another kind of somewhat gloss formula. This Tower 28.
I think it's the shade Coconut. Yeah, Coconut. I really would like to actually get this out of my collection because Tower 28 is a clean brand. It expires quicker. So yeah, let's use this one. And then here's a quick recap of everything that I'll be using for the next month or so. Really actually happy with this. I think I have a good mix of products, like things I can try to finish up like this primer. I have new things that I've never tried, so the Bare Minerals, the blush, the foundation, see what I think of those. I have some products that just need more love, like the Natasha Denona blush and the Makeup by Mario cream bronzer. Then I have things that I need to see just my opinions on. The Givenchy powder, the Guerlain powder, and then these two foundations here. See if any of these just no longer serve me. Same with the concealer, really. So a good mix of products, I think. And yeah, I'm excited to use these for the next month, and I will report back to you as I always do. This is where I'm going to leave you all, though. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.